my buddy at work here. At first it had a very bad stripped spur gear. Let me show you what that looked like. Alright, so here's the spur that came out, and what had happened here, I guess somebody had ran it into a wall, and this linkage right here was shoved all the way up over here into the spur gear. Got all that fixed, but now I got another problem. When I went to start it up after putting some fresh fuel in, it wants to run a really high idle. So I got it tuned back down to something somewhat decent, but there's nothing in this transmission. And it does have the reverse module in there, so something's going on inside the transmission here. So I'm going to tear that apart here and see if something's just hung up or if we stripped one of those plastic gears out. So the easiest way to do that is to take the transmission off the bottom. Under here there's like, I don't know, 6 Phillips head screws. One thing I don't like about the T-Maxx, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm gonna kind of dive into that and see if I can tear that transmission apart and find its problem for him. Now I'm gonna kind of cheat here. I should probably take off the fuel tank and everything else here, but I'm just gonna try to take off the transmission module, see if I can get away with it, because then all I have to do is take off my linkages. Hopefully I can leave all that stuff together and just kind of let it hang. That's what we're going to try to do anyway. I might have to take off the braking system down there. Hopefully I do not, but we'll just have to see how far I can get with it. Another aggravating thing about the T-Maxx is you have to use a screwdriver kind of like this to get in there, because the electric drill that I have here, the bits aren't, they're a little bit wider than that, so you know, they don't really have room to get in those tiny little holes there. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 8 screws that we got to remove. So let's get right to it. All right, so I had no choice but to just take off the fuel tank just to reach everything here, because the shaft was getting stuck in there. So basically what we got to do now, I'll probably just pop off these, well, I'll take it off up here actually. It'll probably be a little easier to get back on later. And that way it's all together kind of still on the settings. But all these screws back here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws I got to take out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like it might be 7. And then the 2 halves should separate, and I should be able to see what's going on from there. So let me get that part done and show you what we got. Alright, so got the transmission out. Looking inside here, these gears are all plastic, but they all seem fine. Even the shoes and stuff inside here, the little fingers that go out, it's just fine. And the way that these operate here is you have a one-way bearing down on the bottom here on this idler. So this is your mechanism. When it's up, it's forward. When it's down, it's reverse. And that operates on this, where's it at here? On this shaft right there. So when it's in all the way, that's going to push this all the way up. And it looks like it's getting full travel. So we're going to put all this back together. We'll check that on the outside, and then we're also going to take apart the clutch bell there and make sure the shoes are actually intact and they haven't lost their spring or whatever. Something's not allowing it to engage, so that's kind of what I'm investigating here. So I'll put all this back together here, and then we'll work on the shoe itself, see if we can figure out if that's the problem. I found out what the issue was with this T-Maxx. The issue was inside the transmission. There's a shaft on, that's the one that connects to the spur gear. There's a little clip, a little C-clip on the backside there. Well, that had come off and it was inside the transmission. It took me a minute to figure it out because everything looked like it was all there, but it was just sitting right on top of one of the bearings, so completely missed it. I didn't get it on video though because he came and picked it up already, so sorry. But it was actually a pretty easy fix, so T-Maxx can be annoying to work on, but they can also be really fun to play with, so, you know, don't ever be afraid of it. It's, you know, it is what it is. Pretty simplistic when you think about it and just stop and kind of look around, don't get in a rush like I did. But yeah, he's pretty happy with it. The thing still needs, some upgrades. It needs steering servos and stuff like that. All the servos that Traxxas give you are pretty weak. And the one he's got now is, pretty weak on the turning. It's pretty lazy. For me, I would want something better, but he's just starting off in it, so maybe he'll wait a while. I don't know. But regardless, got them all fixed up. It was pretty easy, except for taking the transmission out and putting it back in, lining the drive shafts up and stuff like that. That's always a pain in the ass with these vehicles. Just the way it's designed, there's not a lot of room there to work without taking everything apart. And I have, big mitten fingers, so it don't really work very well for me. But yeah, nice little short video. Kind of want to show, what I do from time to time. I help people out. Sometimes I charge for it, sometimes I don't. Just something I really enjoy. So kind of thought I'd show you a little bit about T-Maxx, and a lot of fun. It's another vehicle like everything else I got up there. Just a different flavor. So yeah, pretty fun, pretty easy to work on. Pain in the ass sometimes, I guess you could say, but yeah, a lot of fun.